What's up, guys? I'm Chase Brogan. Today in this video, we're diving into the Kinhank Super Console X Pro right here. This is a plug-and-play game console with over 65,000 retro games pre-installed and ready to be played on here as soon as you set it up. Now, we're going to unbox this today in this video. We're going to set it up. We're going to tour through everything that it has to offer. We're going to jump into some games so you guys can see what the performance is like. Now, price point at the time of this recording, $98 for this on Amazon. That's how I chose to purchase it, and I got it in just 2 days. You can also save a little bit of money, about 25, 30 bucks by getting it from AliExpress, but it's going to take about 2-3 weeks to get to you. So depends which way you want to go. I'll provide links to this in the pinned comment as well as description of this video so you guys can click over, learn a little bit more about this product. Now we're going to dive into this. Before we do though, be sure to hit the subscribe button on your screen to stay in the loop for all future videos. Now let's open the sucker up. All right guys, here is the box. You guys can see how it looks on here. This is the console, how it's going to appear once we open this up. Let's go ahead and start opening it up. All right, so down here at the bottom, console's in this little white box over here. Right over here, we got a user manual. This is going to walk through your entire setup process, walks through all the ports on here. Very straightforward, very easy to follow. You can see how it opens up, even walks you through all of your menu screens. But don't worry about that. I'm going to take you guys through the full tour today. So we get 2 controllers inside here. In terms of how they feel pretty budget friendly. I mean, I wouldn't say that these are premium. The analog sticks certainly aren't Hall effect by any means, but it'll get the job done. So we have an on and off switch down here at the bottom. Now we have a battery pack on the back side, or excuse me, battery section here, I should call it, or a compartment rather. You can put your AAA batteries right inside here, and there's a USB-A dongle. So the dongle is going to connect over to the console. That's how you pair everything. So very straightforward process. I'm going to be only using one of these today, and I am going to make sure that I use the provided controllers. So we'll keep this dongle handy. We'll go ahead and open this up. So right here are the contents of the actual package. So we've got, first off, an HDMI cable. So all you have to do is connect this to your console. Other end's going to go to your TV, and you get this entire thing up and running. It's that simple. Now right over here we have, what's really cool is an adapter. And I actually did get one of these several years ago when this first came out, and I do not remember having this adapter included in there. So it does seem like this has updated. So what this does is it basically turns one USB-A connection into 3. That enables you to connect over up to 4 controllers, because of course on here you're going to have multiple USB-A ports. So 1 is extending to 3, plus you have the additional 1. Now this right here is our power supply cable. I'll show you how we set everything up momentarily. The remote right here basically just gives you the option to turn this on and off, make some volume control settings, adjustments, all that good stuff. I honestly probably won't even use this, but it does come in handy. So here is the actual console itself, and you can see labeled across the front, Super Console X Pro. We'll go ahead and remove this. So it kind of looks like, I suppose, a modern day super compact Super Nintendo, a little bit, if you close one eye and cover the other, I suppose. So over here we have our SD card slot. This has a 256 gigabyte SD card in here. You notice that for quality control, they've put the tape over on the outside so they know if you've tampered with it. But nothing on the front panel here. Backside is going to have your power button located all the way over here. We have your DC power cable connection right there, so we plug that in. We have our HDMI cable connection over here, so we can go ahead and grab our HDMI cable. That is going to plug in right over here like so. And then we also have our Ethernet port on the back, so if you wanted to have a wired internet connection, you can easily go ahead and establish that connection. We also have an AV cable connection over here on the end, which we're probably not even going to use that today because our audio is going to go through the HDMI cable right over to our TV. Now, other side has our 2 USB-A ports. One is a USB 3 port, one's just a regular USB-A 2 port. So we can go ahead and grab our adapter. I'm going to plug that directly into that USB 3 port. And again, that extends 1 port into 3 ports right here. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. It gives us 4 ports from here because there's 1 on the end, which I didn't even notice. So we have 3 on top, 1 on the end, so that turns into 4 ports. We also have the additional USB-A port over here on the side. So that's everything. Now, this on here looks like a power button. It's not. It's just there purely for aesthetics. Your power button is located on the back side. All right, guys, so I am going to go ahead and unwind our HDMI cable here. I'm going to connect this end to my TV. This power supply cable is going to get plugged into a power outlet, and then we are going to fire this up, and we'll tour through all the game collections, all the games that are on here, and then we'll test some of the games out to see what the performance is like. Alright guys, here is the entire setup loaded up right here. So all games list, if you look at the bottom, it says 65,366 total games on here, which is a lot of friggin' games. So what I want to do first off, and you can see I have the controller right here that came with this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into the all games list here just to start everything off. And over here you can see that we have a text list on the left-hand side. Right-hand side we can see that we have a combination of a screenshot, a logo, and the cover art for the title. Everything's in alphabetical order here so we can locate everything effectively. Now if we hit select on our gamepad controller, we open up this options menu, and you can jump down to where it says jump to game beginning with the letter. And if we went to, like, let's say we wanted to look at titles with D, for example, we go ahead and we confirm D, and it's going to automatically jump us to the D titles on here. So it's just kind of a way of speeding up the process of locating the games that we're looking for. And again, we can scroll through here. Everything appears to be scraped. And when I say scraped, for those that are new to emulation, that means that's basically the process of finding the graphics that go with each title. So it's not just a file name or a text list of game titles. So we are going to back out of this collection, and we're going to go collection by collection. So right here we have our favorites collection. This is going to be a custom collection that you set up yourself. You can easily go in here and add your favorite games here just for easy access. So this is going to be blank. You can see it's 0 games currently, but you can go in and add your own games. And I'll show you guys how to do that as well. So right here we have Amstrad CPC. Bottom, right underneath the graphic there of Conan, it says 1,156 games. So that's a pretty stacked collection right there. We'll go ahead and launch that. You can find all the titles in here, again, listed in alphabetical order. Everything populates in, even underneath the screenshots in this case. You can see we have some information for the title, such as who created it, the type of game that it is, brief little description there, and the release date. So very nicely put together. This isn't a collection that I'm super excited about. I'll be perfectly transparent about that. But there are some cool games in here. This was just a little bit before my time. So we're going to back out of this collection. We have GX4000 over here with 23 games. We'll take a quick peek inside this collection. You can see laid out very similar to the previous one. Everything, again, alphabetical order, very easy to find, and you'll notice that in parentheses it says the region release. So in this case, these are European titles, so it says EU at the tail end of the title. So we'll go ahead and back out of this one. Keeping it moving, we have arcade classics. How many arcade games? And I like the way that the background here populates in differently, collection by collection. We get a different background, obviously a different logo on there, but this one, because it's classic arcade, is going to give us that arcade cabinet sort of feel there with the 2 controllers on the control deck, 6 buttons for each one. Looks pretty sharp. And there's 2,456 games on this collection right here, which is insane. I mean, that's a massive collection for classic arcade. Let's jump in here. This is a collection that I'm super stoked about. So again, alphabetical order, we got our 1944 in here. We've got 2-on-2 Open Ice Challenge. We've got 1941, 1943, 1945. We've got 720. I was literally just watching a documentary on the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I guess it's on the franchise of Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, and they were talking about this game. I think this was the first skateboarding game. 720 Degrees. This is a great game right here. AV Cop is a great game as well. I love this game. Let's see what else we have inside here. Lots of good stuff. And I always look for duplicates. If you've seen any of my videos, I'm always looking for, are there multiples of the same game? And so far, this is the only one I've seen. We have Alien Sector in here twice. So, you know, I don't want to see a ton of duplicates, but one here and there, not a big deal at all. Basically, what we're looking for is, are the games on here, you know, if they're advertising 65,000 games, are there 65,000 games on here? Or is it 20,000 games and everything is in here twice, or excuse me, 3 times? So let's jump around a little bit more. Looks like a lot of classics, but I always try to look for specific titles because obviously I'm not going through over 2,400 games here with you guys. Let's go to our jump to menu there, and let's go into M, and let's see if we have Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, just to kind of test out like what we would likely find on here. So we go into the M's. All right, so if we hold this down, it should be MI for Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. But looks like a lot of great games on here. I mean, this is absolutely stacked. We got some Marvel superhero games in here. We've got Marvel versus Capcom, which is great. So let's hold it down a little bit longer here. We got all the Metal Slugs, which is awesome to see. Love the Metal Slug games. There we go. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Now, this is obviously a game that was put out to home consoles as well, but this version, in my opinion, is the absolute best. The cream of the crop. All right, let's see what else we have inside here. Let's go down. Let's see what we have for WWF titles. I'm a huge fan of WrestleFest and Superstars, so I'd love this, and even WrestleMania. I'd love to see those titles on here, but let's see if they're actually on here. All right, you know what? I should go down to X, and then we can just go up. Boom, there we go. We've got all of them. We even have Wrestle War up here as well, but there's Superstars, there's WrestleFest, and there's WrestleMania. We've got all those titles. We even have the X-Men titles here, multiple versions of the X-Men titles, and these are not what I would call duplicates because they're different versions. We have the 2-player version in addition to the 4-player version. Now, let's see if we have The Simpsons, because that's another game I have got to have if I'm going into any arcade collections. It's one of my favorites. So I believe it would be under T for The Simpsons. If it's not in here, we'll check out S titles and see if it's just in there as, Simpsons. But I believe it'll be in here. We have all of our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. We've got Turtles in Time. We've got the original right here. Okay, so let's keep it moving. We got Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So we've got light gun games in here too, which is awesome. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. King of Fighters, man, there's so many of those. The Punishers are great. There we go. The Simpsons right there. 2-player and 4-player, so we've got everything covered. Love it. All right, we're keeping it moving here. It gets even better. We've got MAME in here with 1,874 games, so there's going to be probably some crossover between MAME and Classic Arcade. In fact, I mean, we're seeing that right here, 720 Degrees, 2-on-2 Open Ice Challenge. Both of these titles were in the regular Classic Arcade collection as well. 10-Yard Fight, AB Cop. Yeah, I mean, there's Afterburner 1 and 2. So there's definitely crossover here. It's not an exact duplicate of the collection, but there is a lot of crossover. So we're going to back out of this one. We've got Atari 2600 over here with 1,711 games. We'll take a quick peek at this. I don't want to waste too much time on Atari 2600. Nothing against it, but we've got some hacks in here for adventure. You can see there's a lot of, I don't want to say duplicates because they are different versions, but yeah, I don't need multiple versions of adventure. Probably not going to play any of them. Unless I'm watching Ready Player One and I'm getting super nostalgic for some reason. Berserk, same thing. I love the game, but there's a lot of different versions here, a lot of different hacks. So yeah, we'll back out of this one. We've got Atari 5200 over here with 68 games. We've got Atari 7800 here with 62 games. We've got Atari Lynx over here with 76 games. We'll take a quick look inside of Lynx. You can see, again, alphabetical order. Everything's scraped beautifully. I mean, this is a clean setup here so far. I'm liking this. All right, Atari ST. How many titles for this? 2,728 games. That's a lot of ST titles. Atomis Wave next. Atomis Wave has 12 games. We'll take a look at that because I'm a big Atomis Wave fan. We've got Metal Slug 6. We've got some Guilty Gear in here. Dolphin Blue are great games. Demolition Fist. We've got Battle Coliseum here. We've got King of Fighters. Rumblefish at the bottom. Missed those the first time around. All right, so we'll back out. Next, we have Wonder Swan. That's going to give us 110 games. We've got Wonder Swan Color. That's going to give us 91 games. Next, we have Capcom System 1. That's going to give us 49 games. Let's take a quick look inside Capcom System 1. So many great games here. Captain Commando, Area 88, 1941 Counterattack. We've got some Final Fight in here, Ghouls and Ghosts, and so many great games inside this collection. And of course, at the bottom, Street Fighter titles. So back out, we got Capcom System 2. That's going to give us, usually around 41 games. A little hard to see across the yellow background there. And then Capcom System 3 is usually a whole lot less. This one's giving us 5 games. Next, we have Cave over here. Cave is going to give us 16 games. We've got ColecoVision. ColecoVision has 169 games. We'll jump into this one. You can see how everything's laid out. Consistent collection by collection, which I'm definitely digging here. Backing out of that one, we've got Commodore 64, but there's a ton. 3,660 games. Remember, though, these are multi-disc games. So, again, we've got Disc 1, Disc 2. Oh, excuse, I guess that's 3 discs right there. Yeah, disc 1, disc 2, disc 3. So some games aren't going to be like that. Some are, though. So that's how you quickly get so many titles on here. Backing out, we've got Amiga. Now, Amiga is a collection that I didn't experience as a kid, but through emulation, I've gotten to experience a lot of those games. There's over 1,800 games, or just under 1,900 games here. 1898 is the exact number. Let's jump in here. So we got 1943, the Battle of Midway. We got a couple different versions of that up at the top. Now, The Untouchables is a game that I recently got, well, a couple of years ago got into. So let's go and see if that's in here, just as a way of testing and see, how we locate things and if the titles we're looking for are actually on here. So we'll go in here. It's going to be like looking for The Simpsons. We'll have to kind of go down here a little bit, but The Godfather's a great game. Yeah, so The Untouchables will be down a little bit further, but The Godfather, awesome Amiga game right here. A lot of people don't know about that one, so let's go down a little bit further. Got The Lion King in here. Munsters. There we go, Three Stooges, and then right below it, The Untouchables. Great game. So, all right, we'll back out of this one. Again, Amiga, just under 1,900 games. We got FB Alpha here. This is giving us, man, it's hard to see, 645 games it looks like. Tough to see the white text over the flame-colored control deck there, but we'll take a quick look inside here. So there are different versions of titles here. I would say there's some duplicates. Different sets, though. It's not straight up duplicates, but it is a little bit more than I would need. Plus, a lot of these titles are going to be found in MAME and Classic Arcade, so there's some serious crossover inside here. But, it's not an offensive amount. So we got IGS over here. This is giving us 32 games. Let's take a quick look inside here. So, some of these collections are, a little excessive. Like, I don't think we need all of these collections. Like IREM doesn't necessarily need to be its own collection. 32 games there. We've got Odyssey 2, though. I'm not much of an Odyssey 2 fan, but a lot of people are. And it doesn't take up much space on here. 116 Odyssey 2 games. We've got Intellivision over here. This is 154 games. We've got user instructions. Interesting. So this is going to be kind of your customer service for setting things up. Let's just take a quick peek inside here. It may just be, okay, so it walks through your hotkeys, which is how you would exit games. Usually that's start and select at the same time. Sometimes you have to hit it twice. Walks through controller mapping. I like this in here. It's basically your user manual digitalized. So we'll back out. We have Vectrex next. This is delivering us with 67 games. We've got MSX over here with 897 games. MSX2, that's giving us 137 games. We've got PC Engine. PC Engine has 410 games. PC Engine CD. This has 2 games. We've got Super Graphics next. 318 games. We got TurboGrafx 16. That's going to give us 93 games. Now N64, we got to jump into this one. 175 N64 games. Let's see how this is laid out inside here. All right, so alphabetical order seems to be nicely put together. I'm not seeing any duplicates so far. Let's scroll down. We got our Bomberman in here. We've got Castlevania titles. We've got Chopper Attack, which is a cool one. Clay Fighter, both Clay Fighters. We got Cruisin' USA, Cruisin' World. We are missing Exotica. I will say that. But these are my 2 favorites. Exotica would be 3rd. I'd love to see it in here. It's not. Diddy Kong Racing's in here. We've got Donkey Kong 64, Doom 64, Dr. Mario 64, Duke Nukem 64. We've got Earthworm Jim 3D. We've got Excite Bike 64. Lots of great games. We got some FIFA in here. My all-time favorite game, Gauntlet Legends. Although I always prefer the Dreamcast version if we're talking about home consoles. We've got Golden Nugget 64. Do we have GoldenEye though? That's one. It might be James Bond. It depends how they've kind of categorized it here or listed it because we're in alphabetical order. Hydro Thunder, another favorite game right here. All right, what else do we have? So Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest. We've got some Madden Football 64, Mario Kart 64, Mario Party 1 through 3, Mario Tennis. We've got Mission Impossible in here, Mortal Kombat titles, NFL Blitz titles, Paperboy. We've got Perfect Dark in here, which is a great game. We've got Quake 2, Pokemon, Rainbow Six, Rampage. We got Ridge Racer. So many great games. San Francisco Rush, which I love. Rush 2 Extreme Racing. Spider-Man, Star Fox 64. We've got Super Mario 64 a couple times over. A whole lot. Well, we have some hacks in here. Okay, that's all right. We got Superman, we got Tarzan, we got Legend of Zelda. Looks like all the Zelda titles here. We got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 3. Looks like we're missing the original one. Some Toy Story. We've got... All right, we got some wrestling titles. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey 2. WCW NWO Revenge. That looks like the only WCW title. If you had to pick just one, that's the one to pick. We've got WWF No Mercy. If you had to pick just one WWF game, that's the one to pick as well. WrestleMania 2000, also pretty awesome. But pretty stacked collection for N64 games. Backing out, we have Nintendo DS next with a total of 18 games. Now, not a big DS guy, I've said that in past videos, but looks like a stacked collection. We got Mario Kart DS, we got Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, we got some Lego titles, which don't sleep on the Lego titles. They're pretty sweet. The movies are good too. Assassin's Creed up here, we got some Grand Theft Auto, some Castlevania, we got some Star Wars, Pokemon, Need for Speed. I mean, pretty stacked. NES now, Nintendo Entertainment System, 1,719 games, absolutely stacked. We've even got our own collection for NES hacks over here with 2,082 games. That's pretty incredible. Family Computer, that's going to give us 2,714 games. We've got Family Computer Disk System next. 286 games. We've got Nintendo Game & Watch over here. 53 games. We've got original Game Boy. 1,555 games. Now, I'd imagine we have the 4-in-1 packs. Man, I hate those because it just takes up space. We have these titles by themselves, so why put them in there, bundled together too? It's a way of padding the numbers. So not crazy about that. We also have foreign releases, I'm sure, because that's how we got to this insane number of titles. We've got Game Boy Advance over here as well. 1,695 games. A little bit too many games there, but we do have some of those bundled deals in here, 3-in-1, 2 great games in one. So that kind of pads the numbers a little bit, but we also have foreign releases, I think, as well. So next we have Game Boy Color. Game Boy Color is going to give us 1,473 games. I bet you the same thing. So there are some duplicates inside here, it seems. So we got European version of 10-pin bowling. We've got the USA version as well. Same thing up here with 102 Dalmatians. So, a little bit padded on the numbers, but it's not ridiculous. Now, we have Super Famicom next with a total of 14,209 games. That's a whole hell of a lot. All right, so inside here you can see we've got a lot of duplicates in this one. So for 2020 Super Baseball, just as an example, and these are all the Japanese version. 1, 2, 3, 4 different versions there. So now we're getting to be, pretty ridiculous. If every title's in here multiple times, like let's look at Three Ninjas Kickback. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe this is the same, right? 5. Is that the same game? I don't know if it's the same game. I want to say it is, but I don't know. I don't know how to read that. Regardless, multiple versions. So the Super Famicom collection is ridiculous with 14,000 games. I think it's safe to say that we should take probably a third of those and count that as like true, as the true game count here. And even that would be a little bit excessive. So Super Nintendo next with 3,696 games. Yeah, there's duplicates in here as well. So I'm not crazy about these collections, but up until this point, we've been doing pretty well. Next, we have Super Nintendo hacks. There's a total of 370 of those. We've got Virtual Boy next. Virtual Boy's giving us 31 games. We've got Open Bore. I love Open Bore. 117 games, which is pretty stacked for Open Bore. Let's jump in here. So this is like custom-made side-to-side games. We got Alien vs. Predator Aftermath. We've got Battletoads in here. We've got Beats of Rage. We've got Castlevania. We've got... Man, Double Dragon, this is a great game. Unleashed, I love that game. But there's so many great Double Dragon games on here. We've got Fatal Fury, we got Final Fight, we've got Golden Axe Genesis, which is a cool one. We've got He-Man, which is probably one of the best ones. What else do we have inside here? We got Kill Bill is a great one. I did a video on this game years and years ago here on the channel when I was just starting out. We got Marvel Superheroes. Definitely some cool titles in here to just kind of go through casually. They're not super challenging games, but they're a blast to play. Power Rangers as well. 3DO is next. 3DO has 12 games. Take a quick peek inside this collection. You can see how everything's laid out. Nicely put together. No padded numbers here at all. Backing out. Next one is Pokemon Mini. This gives you 43 games. We got, oh man, how do you say that? Pasicchio? I forget how you pronounce that. 15 games inside here. We've got screenshots. If you want to take screenshots of your gameplay, you can go ahead and do that. We have Sega 32X next with 52 games. We got Sega CD over here with 50 games. We've got Dreamcast, one of my favorite retro game collections, 20 games. Let's see what we have for Dreamcast. So Crazy Taxi 1 and 2. We've got Giga Wing up here. We've got Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. We got Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, Metropolis Street Racer. We got Mortal Kombat Gold, Power Stone 1 and 2, Rayman 2, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, Soul Calibur, which is a great game, Virtua Fighter down there at the bottom, and then we loop back to where we started. So if you're going to have just 20 games, this is a great collection of 20 games. I'd love to see more, of course. But here's the thing. You can add more games and remove games you're not going to play if you really want to. You don't have to leave it exactly as it is. Sega Game Gear is next. Sega Game Gear has 497 games. We've got Sega Genesis over here with a total of 1,680 games. And I'm sure we have like our Sonic titles. Let's go to that jump to, let's go over to S. And let's see what we have. So, Samurai Showdown. We've got, man, so many great games on here, and we're just in the S's. So let's see. Let's hold this down. Let's get over to the Sonic. I'm sure Sonic's in here. It would be insane if it wasn't. There we go. We've got tons of Sonic. Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic and Knuckles with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We've got Sonic and Knuckles with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. We've got Sonic and Knuckles with the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic 3, Sonic 3D Blast, multiple versions of it. Sonic Classics, which is like an all-in-one sort of deal. And then we've got some hacks and stuff like that in here. So tons and tons of Sonic the Hedgehog. Maybe a little too much, but it is what it is. Sega Genesis hacks, 65 games there. Sega Master System. Now this is, believe it or not, the collection that I dive into the most beyond Dreamcast. Dreamcast would be number 1. Master System number 2. I like that throwback. So 663 games here. We've got Mega Drive here as well. 2,711 games. Next up we have Mega Drive over here again. Okay, Sega Mark III. I'm looking at the right-hand logo there, but Sega Mark III, 500 games. Now, some of these Sega collections obviously have massive crossover. It is what it is. Sega Naomi is the next collection. Probably, all right, 66 games. I was going to say it's probably a small collection. That's not really small. Let's take a look inside. Asian Dynamite, Cannon Spike, Capcom vs. SNK, a couple of those titles. Giant Graham 2000, Giant Graham over here as well, Giga Wing 2, Guilty Gear. Lots of great titles. I love this collection. Now, we got to see if they have WWF Royal Rumble, because that's one of my favorites for this collection. Hopefully they have it. Let's see. And there's some great sports games too. Sports Jam is cool. Spiker's Battle is good as well. Toy Fighter is a cool one. Virtua NDA, Virtua Tennis 2. There we go. WWF Royal Rumble. Love seeing it here. And then Zombie Revenge is a great one as well. So we'll back out of this collection. We have Sega Saturn next. And 20 games. Okay, that's not bad. It matches the Dreamcast collection. All right, they need to have Daytona on here, and they don't. No Daytona USA. And it's not in Dreamcast as well. I can't give them a pass on that, man. They got to put Daytona USA on here. Such a great game. So that sucks, but Mortal Kombat Trilogy is a good one. Saturn Bomberman. Sonic Jam's cool. Yeah, I mean, I would improve upon this collection, to be honest. There's some good titles in here, but there's a lot more that should be added. Yeah, so I would ask for more there. SG-1000 from Sega, 201 games. We've got Sharp 68,000 over here with 348 games. We've got Sinclair ZX Spectrum over here with 2,096 games. Neo Geo with, looks like 204 games, a little hard to see. We got our Metal Slugs in there, but we also had Metal Slugs in the arcade collections as well. Next up, we have Neo Geo CD with 40 games. We have Neo Geo Pocket with 264 games. Neo Geo Pocket Color now with 118 games. And now we have original PlayStation, 192 games, which is a pretty stacked collection. Let's jump in here and just see what we have for PlayStation. So I see Ace Combat in here. We have some Army Men in here. Bomberman in here. Capcom vs. SNK Pro. Castlevania. Crash Bandicoot. Crash Team Racing, which is one of my favorites for this collection. We got Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX, Dead or Alive, Dino Crisis, Duke Nukem. We had a bunch of Disney titles. We have Earthworm Jim 2, some FIFA, some Final Fantasy, Gauntlet Legends. Good stuff. Definitely some good stuff here. Marvel vs. Capcom as well. Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. We've got Medal of Honor, which you don't, believe it or not, you don't see that a lot in these. We've got Mega Man, we got Men in Black, we've got Metal Slug, Motocross Mania, NBA Jam Extreme, Need for Speed. Definitely a stacked collection now. Do we have Tekken? That's going to be the ultimate test, I think. Silent Hill's in here. Spider-Man's in here. Some Star Wars, some Street Fighter. There we go. We've got Tekken 3 right there. Excellent. Now, I'd love to see some WWF in here. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Twisted Metal. Great. Do we have any wrestling? We do. Yeah. Okay. I'd love to see SmackDown in here. At least a couple one SmackDown would be great. We've got WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, which is fine. I mean, we already had it anyways for arcade, so I'm not super excited about it. Would love to see SmackDown in here, but still, great collection. We got some X-Men in here as well. Great collection. Can't complain about that. We've got PSP next. PSP has 34 games. Let's see what's in here. So it looks like some minis games. Final Fantasy, though. God of War. Ghost of Sparta, as well as Chains of Olympus. Those are good. Iron Man 2. Metal Gear Solid. Metal Slug. We've got Motorstorm. We've got Mortal Kombat. Need for Speed. Tekken Dark Resurrection. I love that. We've got WWF SmackDown versus Raw 2006. Tomb Raider. Test Drive. Good stuff. All right. Not mad at it. PSP Minis is a separate collection over here. 243 games there. I thought some of these were minis games, but I could have been mistaken there. All right, keeping it moving. Supervision. So we're not even done yet. This is crazy. 47 games in Supervision. And we've got Oozebox over here with 71 games. And that brings us to our conclusion here. We're back to where we started. 65,366 games in total on this console. That's a lot of games. A lot of games. Now, there's duplicates on here. We saw the Super Famicom collection had like 14,000 games. So 65 games, a little bit of a stretch. Maybe conservatively we call it 40,000, 45,000 games. Probably more realistic. Hey, I'm not mad at it. For under $100, regardless of where you source this from, you're getting all these games at your fingertips. But we got to see if they work. Let's dive into at least a handful of these games to see if they perform the way that they should.
You win round 2. Fight.
Alright guys, we just jumped into the Kinhank Super Console X Pro, and man, in 2026, does this still have value? 100%. They're advertising 65,000 games. We've established that's a little bit excessive. Conservatively, it's probably closer to 40 to 45,000 games. Let's just say it's 40,000 games. Still, tremendous value here. It's plug and play. You add the power cable to this. You add the HDMI cable to this. You plug in your USB-A dongle from your controller over to this, and you power it on. And you instantly have access to all these games. In my experience, everything that I jumped into worked perfectly. We had no lags or delays in N64 or Dreamcast. It was a very good experience. PSP was even a good experience. So everything that's added on here does work and works very well. Are there duplicates? 100%. There's tons of duplicates in some of the, it seems like the Nintendo old school collections, not N64, but the Famicom collection, the Super Nintendo collection. Those have a lot of duplicates there, but I can't get that mad at it. Classic Arcade and MAME also had quite a few duplicates. Even the Capcom system games were in multiple collections. But you know what? I'm going to look the other way because this isn't a ridiculously priced product. It's under $100 if you go the route that I took, which was the Amazon route, where you're basically paying a premium price. You're paying about $25, $30 more to get it in 2 days versus saving $25, $30 and getting it in 3 weeks maybe, or maybe even 4 weeks. It depends on how fast, international transit is. Sometimes it's really quick. Sometimes it's not. I have come across 2025 and 2026 being a little bit slower. So take that into consideration. For me, it was worth the $30 more to get it in 2 days. So to each their own, weigh out the pros and cons there. I'll provide links to both in the description and the pinned comment below, but let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you would purchase in 2026, or does this seem dated for you? For me, yeah, it's a little bit dated. We can't get past PSP, we can't get past Dreamcast or N64. PlayStation also works great on here. We don't get PS2, we don't get GameCube, we don't get Wii, we certainly don't get Wii U or Nintendo Switch, but we're under $100. So to me, it makes perfect sense. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments of this video. Be sure to give me a like on the video if you enjoyed the content today. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Click those links, and I'll see you guys on the next one.